Afternoon. It's Sunday and I got stuck into one of the worm trays because one of B's friends at work would like some worms and I said I'd give them some, so I'm going to give them a small ice cream container full of worms they provided. This is what we got from this tray here. I'll go into what's in there in a tick. So if I want to move this around, I'm a little bit sluggish. So we got that out of that was a middle tray of the worm farm. So I didn't expect there to be that many in there, to tell you the truth, but it turned out rather well. And there's also heaps of eggs in there. So saying that, oh yeah, there's an egg. Little egg in there, a bit hard to see. So heaps of worms. This blend that they're in is actually the horse manure or cracker dust, because I didn't have the rock dust then, and blood and bone. So this is what the castings look like. Nice and friable. You can see the castings actually in there. I don't know if it's going to show up. See how close we can get. As well as some fibre from the horse manure still, the grass and hay and whatever they've eaten. There's also a ton of eggs in here too. So I'm going to try and leave these eggs in here because this is going to become our seed raising mix for our spring and summer plants. The reason I'm using this is it will have weed seeds in it and they will grow and they will annoy me, but when I've grown from our own worm castings that we've fed tomato plants, tomato fruit offcuts and capsicums and the like, eggplants, we get them shooting up in the tray, so we don't know actually what's coming up. Especially if you've got a tomato and you've got 15 tomatoes coming up, you don't know what's coming up true to type. Same with the eggplants and the capsicums. So we'll be using the horse manure blend from now on. So I might mix a bit of coconut coir with that. We'll just wait and see. But this is what's going in. Exactly the same as what went in to become this. So if you can see the difference, a lot of fibre. Same provider actually, same horse manure provider. This one's a lot lighter, full of castings. This one's very heavy. So this is the manure that's going in, and it will be going in on the top tray to try and coax all the other fellas up. I'll just show you. It's a bit dark in here. Had a bit of rain today, it's a bit overcast. So this is the actual top tray. I took the middle tray out. So the tray out there full of horse manure compost, or slightly composted horse manure, will go on top here. It's a little bit warm and cooking ever so slightly, so that'll be good for the worms. They're very sluggish because of the cooler temperatures at the moment. So that'll go on there, and hopefully the warmth and the fresh food will draw the worms up to the top. And I'll harvest the bottom and the middle tray next weekend, or I'll just have a bit of a fiddle around in the top tray and see how many worms are in there. So I'll show you this one. This one is decorated with some snow peas, they look like. Drying snow peas. This one here we've left alone pretty much all winter as well. We gave it a couple of helpings of horse manure on top. That newspaper hasn't even been eaten. And just see what this is like. Yeah, that looks like it's dried out nicely. This one was a very gloopy bin, so very wet. Oh, still a bit wet down the bottom, but not as wet. And there's the residents all hiding down the bottom. So poor little wormies freezing down here. I was actually putting hot water bottles on them for the first couple of really cold nights, but yeah, I figured let nature take its course. Whatever dies, die. Strong survive, the weak will die and become food. Such is. So it's a bit precious on my wormies. So yeah, that's this bin here. Yeah, even the newspaper has hardly been eaten. As you can see, they've eaten a little bit there. So this one's a lot more friable. This is the end I was actually feeding him at, because we did have some sun at the start of winter and now towards the end of winter coming through there. So a lot more friable. But this after that one, the bed I just showed you, there we go, there's some little fellas. After the worm farm here, the worm tower goes, and we harvest it all. That one too will be getting the horse manure compost blend. The food scraps really should be going to the chooks, and I also want to start up a black soldier fly larvae farm for the aquaponics and also for the chickens, so all the food scraps will probably end up going to the black soldier fly bin. Also too, I've read that you can feed the black soldier fly waste to the worms, so we can feed it to the worms to help supplement the horse manure. So anyway, just to recap, that is horse manure. You can actually see some of the little bone flakes, little white flecks in there. That's probably from the blood and bone. It's had aquaponic change out water in it, and it's also got a good measure of the mineral rock dust in it. And it's come from these barrels over here. The back two barrels have a blend of the mushroom compost. So they actually stopped cooking. They cooked for the first 2 days they were steaming, but they're not steaming anymore. They're a little bit warm, so it's pretty loose. I like to sieve it all first to make it loose. That one's got mushroom compost, as I said. This is the one that's going into the bin today. Is a week older than the ones at the back there. And this is the mushroom compost that went into it. So that's the mushroom compost that went into the horse manure. So I'm trying a few different things out just to see how it goes. So that's pretty much all it.